Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We are live on Facebook and Instagram. How are you doing? Go ahead and tag your business bestie, your friends, your mama them, tag everybody. Let them know that this is where they need to be because it is time for the Raggedy Business Report of the month of July. How are y'all doing today? Hey, Carter's Crafty Concepts. How you doing, Janae? We are here again for another Raggedy Business Report. And I cannot believe how long this past month has felt. Usually time flies, but this past month has felt like so long. I cannot believe. I was like, last week I was like, dang, is it time for the Raggedy Business Report yet? Because it just feels like it's been a long time since I have been before you for the Raggedy Business Report. Hey, Tashana. Hey, Kayla. Thank you so much. Pretty Mother Runner. Oh, I think that's Kayla again. But how are y'all doing today? Super excited to be before you. A lot has happened. If you saw me make a post earlier today telling you that you needed to tune in today, obviously just because this is where you need to be anyway, but a lot has happened since the last Raggedy Business Report, and I am going to dish it out and give you the tea. Hey, Shauna, thank you so much for tuning in. Man, it has been a month. Let me know how the month of July is going for you all. I cannot believe we are already in the middle of July. I don't know where the year is going, don't know where time has gone, even though, as I said a moment ago, it has felt like forever since I did a Raggedy Business Report, but we are back. We are back. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Raggedy Business Report, let me tell you what this is all about. So, when I do these reports, I am coming before you to share some raggedy news. I talk to you about some raggedy business practices, raggedy experiences that I have usually been the recipient of, but you can submit your raggedy experiences for me to talk about on the Raggedy Business Report. But I share my experiences most of the time just encountering raggedy business practices, and unfortunately I am never at a loss for content because it has just become such the norm for businesses to do raggedy business and to not treat their clients and customers with respect or with integrity and all the myriad of things, right? And I know that you've had some raggedy experiences as well. And so I talk about those raggedy experiences. So it is a little bit of tea, it's a little bit of gossip, but what I don't do is disclose the name of the companies because I'm not here to slander companies. But because of that, I give you some things that you can take away and implement in your business to make sure that you never end up on the Raggedy Business Report, because I am equal opportunity. And I do have friends who have businesses that I have had to tell, hey, you about to end up on a Raggedy Business Report. You might want to sharpen it up and shape it up because, hey, I'm fair game. It's equal opportunity over here. So that is a little bit about the Raggedy Business Report. I am so grateful for those of you who have been rocking with me for so long. This is the 24th Raggedy Business Report. So we started this way back in the fall of 2020, and you guys have really latched on and taken to this little show that I do, if you want to call it that. So thank you so much for everyone who has been rocking with me for a long time. And for those of you who are new to me or unfamiliar with me, my name is Candice Washington, also known as the Client Curator. And that is because I help my clients to make sure that their client experience is top notch and on point so that they can retain more of their clients, and not only retain their clients, but increase the revenue that they're getting from their existing client base, because that's where it's at. Data shows us that 80% of your future revenue is going to come from just 20% of your existing clients. So if you do not have a data-driven strategy for how to not only retain more of your clients, but increase the amount of revenue you're earning from them, you need to be in my inbox like yesterday so that we can schedule a call and I can talk to you about how to help you improve that. So with that being said, let me get into this good Raggedy Business Report. So those of you who are watching who know me personally or may be connected with me on my Facebook profile know that I was in a car accident a couple of weeks ago. Yes, I was in a car accident. It wasn't anything serious. It wasn't anything bad. There were no injuries. It was my fault. So I was at fault. It was me. I was the problem. But that was my first car accident in over 22 years of driving since I got my license at 16 years old. So I think I'm doing all right, but it definitely was my fault. No one was hurt. I was very, very grateful that everything went as smoothly as it did for the most part after I had the accident. And so the gentleman that I hit, I wasn't going very fast. There was a lot of traffic, probably was going less than 10 miles an hour. Don't want to get into the specific. I didn't see the guy, right? And it happens, and that's why they call it accident. So the only thing that was hurt in that accident was my feelings, right? I was just in my feelings. I can't believe this, and all the stuff that I would tell other people after having an accident, people were telling me, and I'm like, no, I'm not trying to hear that. This is not, I don't have accidents, but I did have one. So the gentleman that I hit, there couldn't have been a nicer guy. If I was gonna get in an accident and hit someone, I couldn't have hit a nicer guy, right? This gentleman was just so nice. We both got out of our cars like, are you okay? Are you okay? Really, really nice man. And he could have been pissed. I mean, let's be clear. I hit him. He could have got out, guns blazing, and he was just the nicest guy. So I'm very, very grateful for that. So I told him while we were checking on each other to see if everything was okay, we were kind of looking at our cars and everything. My car had the brunt of the damage, which, understandable. That's fine. But I told him, I said, hey, don't worry about it. I got good insurance. It's cool. I ain't one of these people driving around irresponsibly. I don't have no insurance. I got good insurance. You good, sir. You're good. So everything was cool. So when we had the accident, I was trying to cross through a center turn lane. And so after I hit him and we got out, we made sure we were both okay. I said, well, let me go ahead and move my car more into the center lane so that we're out of traffic. So I did that, moved my car into the center lane. He couldn't move his truck. His truck wasn't drivable because when I hit him, it bent his bumper into his tire, and there was a bolt wedged against his tire. So if he would have tried to drive, it would have popped his tire. And so he couldn't move, but I could move my car into the center turn lane, and that's what I did. So then I called the police because I figured I would need a police report for my insurance, right? And I called the police and called the non-emergency line, just let them know, hey, need an officer to come out, had an accident, no injuries, everybody's cool, just need the police report. And so once I did that, the tow truck drivers they listen here in Houston, they listen to the police scanners all the time. Maybe they do that in other cities as well. So they were listening to the police scanners, heard the location of the accident. They started showing up. No problem. They showed up. Cool. They're waiting in their tow trucks while he and I are still talking. In the meantime, I called the collision center at the dealership and asked them, hey, what do I need to do? I just had an accident, need to have my car brought in. How late are you open? All of those details. And they gave me all that information and everything was cool. So the next call I made was to my insurance company to start the claim. Now, mind you, this is all while we're waiting on the police to arrive. So I called my insurance company to start the claim process. I told her I had called for the police, asked the lady that I spoke with, do I need a police report? Because they were taking forever to show up. We were both getting hot and tired of waiting on them because, hey, the tow trucks are already here. So we're just waiting on the police, and we were waiting on them. And the woman that I spoke with told me that I didn't need a police report. So I said, okay, cool. Well, in that case, the tow trucks are here. Let's get this show cracking. Let's get it on the road. Let's hook up these cars and be out and go about our evening and do what we wanted to do. So the gentleman and I decided to use the tow trucks that were already there. Well, come to find out, the two tow trucks, even though their trucks had different names and things on them, they were from the same company. So one tow truck driver he was like, oh, well, yeah, this guy, this other tow truck guy, this is my boss. Fine, cool, no problem. Well, they wanted to take my car to their body shop. Well, that ain't finna happen because, for one, my car is a leased vehicle because I lease my car through my company. That's some free game. That's how the wealthy and the rich people do it. So I lease my car through my company. And because of that, it's still under warranty. So the car is going to the dealership, to their collision shop. Just, we don't have to have no discussion about it. That's where, and it's my car. I get to make the determination on that. So that's where it's going. Well, they didn't really like that. And they didn't say they didn't like that, but when you hear what happened, you're going to know that they didn't like that. So what I did was the gentleman asked me if I could move my car into the parking lot, which was on the other side of the lanes of traffic. Yeah, my car wasn't leaking any fluids. Nothing like that was happening. So I moved it to the parking lot on the other side of the lanes of traffic. So by that time, my dad is there. He came so that he could take me home and do whatever else I needed to do. And so the driver tells me it's going to be $150 to tow your car. Okay, cool. No problem. Do you take cards? And they were like, no, it's only cash. I said, okay, cool. Well, hook up my car and you can follow us to the ATM down the street because it's on your way to the collision center at the dealership. So, just take just follow us and I'll get the cash out. You'll be good to go. So he hooks up my car, and when he starts driving, my rear tires on my car weren't rolling. They were just dragging, and he could feel it immediately. And so he stopped, and my dad pulled up his car next to the tow truck, and I said, hey, I saw my tires weren't rotating. What's going on? He said, well, I'm going to need a flatbed truck, so I'm going to have to call my boss, which is the other tow truck driver who was on the scene. I said, cool, do that. While you work that out, we're going to run down to the ATM, get you your money, and then we'll be right back. He was like, cool. So we run down the street. My dad takes me down the street to the ATM, get the man his money. We get back to the parking lot where my car was. Do you know that this man had unhooked my car and left it in the parking lot and deuced out? He was gone. Tow truck driver was gone. And I looked at my dad and I said, what? We went to get this man his money cash at that. Went to get you $150 in cash. And we get back and you gone? Like no note on the car, no nothing. They was just gone. And I said, okay. So then I called my insurance back, and I have roadside assistance through my insurance company. So I called them back and told them, well, on second thought, I do need a tow truck because the one that was here just kind of dipped out and left me hanging. So I need you to send another tow truck. So did that, waited for the tow truck, and only spent all that time waiting for the tow truck, only to end up having to leave my car in the parking lot. It was the parking lot of a liquor store at that. Leave my car in the parking lot overnight because after we had waited 2 hours for them to show up, I got a text message saying, oh, the tow truck is on the way. And I called the tow truck company like, how much longer are you going to be? And they're like, oh, probably about 45 minutes to an hour. We had already waited for 2 hours in the parking lot for a tow truck in the city of Houston, which is not a rural city. It's not a city in the middle of nowhere. This is a major city. I don't know why on earth it would take 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours to get a tow truck in the city of Houston. But anyway, that's what it was. And so by that time, it was just like, you know what? Can you just meet us in the morning to pick up the car and take it to the collision center? So that's what I ended up having to do. And I was so nervous about, now I know I just had a wreck, just had an accident, right? But I was so nervous about what if somebody break into my car? It's sitting in the parking lot overnight, parking lot of a liquor store at that. What if somebody break into my car? And my dad was just like, well, just remember, you got insurance. So, and I was like, yeah, but I just had, yeah. But anyway, left my car in the parking lot of the liquor store overnight, went back the next morning. Thankfully, the tow truck company that said they were going to meet us there, they actually did. They were actually early. They met us before they were scheduled to get there. Put my car on the tow truck, took it to the collision center, and it's still there being worked on. I miss my car, but like I said, the only thing that was hurt in all this was my feelings, and I got a little attitude at several points throughout this process. Now, what happened after that? That's another Raggedy Business Report, so y'all have to stay tuned and make sure that you keep your notifications on, because I might just do a pop-up business or pop-up Raggedy Business Report for part 2 of this whole saga, right? So that is the Raggedy Business Report of today. Now, that's not where it is, because you know I don't just rag on businesses. I always give you some takeaways. So the first takeaway I want you to make sure that you are not doing in your business, or refine your processes to make sure that you are doing in your business. If you commit to the work, do the work. Do the work. The tow truck company driver, the first one that was on the scene, he knew I wasn't taking my car to their body shop. And he still said he would take it to the collision center at the dealership. Okay, so you committed to doing the work. You committed to transporting my vehicle. But when I go to get you the money to pay you, you just decide that you're not going to do that, probably because I didn't want my vehicle taken to their body shop. But you're just going to decide that you're not going to do it. That's not okay. You already agreed to do business. And just because it wasn't the business that you wanted to do or that you had hoped for, doesn't mean or doesn't take away the fact that you were still earning money, cash at that. Like, you don't have to wait for that to clear your bank. You don't have to wait for none of that. Cash. I went to get the man cash. So don't just let your clients and customers not be able to get in touch with you after you agree to do the work. Because like I said, when I got back, there was nothing on my card. No, sorry, we couldn't, change my mind, nothing like that. So do not ever do that to your clients and customers, because best believe if I see this tow truck on the road again, I'm liable to pull up and be like, hey, that was grimy, because that's just how I'm just kind of built like that. So never do that to your clients and customers, because the other thing is you don't want your reputation out in the streets like that, because that's how you lose future business. If heaven forbid I have another accident, and again, this was my first accident ever. I've never caused an accident. Heaven forbid, though, I have another accident or I'm with someone that has an accident and this tow truck show up. Nah, bruh, you ain't getting that business. Going on somewhere, because you don't do people like that. I just really believe in treating people right, especially when you trying to get paid and you're in business and you want to make money, which is why I do what I do. You can't say you want to make money from people and be in business and all of this, but then you don't treat people right. That's not synonymous with making money. You treat people bad, you treat people like crap, you treat people like they money ain't green. Guess what? They're going to find somewhere else that's going to take their green money. So don't do that to people. The second thing is, when there is no detriment to you, always do what's best for the client or customer. And again, I say when there is no detriment to you, because I will be the first to say all clients and customers, they're not always right. It's a lot of raggedy clients and customers out here too. So while I talk about the Raggedy Business Report and I talk about businesses, there are a lot of raggedy clients and customers out here too. So no, I'm not one of those people that thinks, oh, the customer is always right. No, that's not always the case. But when there is no detriment to you, you always do what's right for the customer and the client. That man left guaranteed money. Guaranteed money. He was about to get $150 right there, cash. So you just gonna leave guaranteed money for the potential to make money somewhere else? For the potential to make money off of another accident? I mean, yeah, he probably will, but you had guaranteed money. You had, that money was right there. I went to go get it for you, and you have my car. So I'm not gonna not come back and you have my vehicle. Like, who does that? So always be mindful of leaving what you think is going to be, leaving what you have for something that you think is going to be better. Because it may not be, right? So always keep that in mind. Him taking my vehicle to the collision center at the dealership was not going to cost him any extra time because he was already there on the scene. It's not like he had to be called out, had to get dressed, had to do all of these different things that were going to be an inconvenience to him because he was already there. And he was already going to have to take the car somewhere, right? Whether it was their body shop or whether it was the collision center at the dealership, he was going to have to take the car somewhere. So it wasn't no inconvenience to him. That's what he came to the scene for. He came to the scene to take the car somewhere, or else he wouldn't have showed up. So there was no inconvenience to him. So whenever there is no detriment to you, no inconvenience to you, whether that's an inconvenience of time or an inconvenience of money or whatever the case may be, you always do what's right for the client or customer all the time. So those are the lessons I hope you take away from this Raggedy Business Report. I told you I was going to be super raggedy. Again, there is a part 2 to this because it did not stop there. Really didn't. So let me go through and see what some of these comments is talking about. Y'all was just going in. Yes. Wow. Tashana said the cops didn't even show for them when they were in an accident. Wow. Man, again, people be out here being raggedy. Yep, how you miss out on money like that just because your client didn't do what you wanted them to do. That's a whole word right there, Janae. That's a whole word. I just waited on a tow truck for 4 hours 2 days ago. They take their time. They sure do. Sure do take their time. And it's horrible. There is no shortage of places where people can spend their... Yes, I say that all the time. People ain't searching for places to spend money. There is no shortage of places where we can spend our money. None at all. People are not hurting for, oh, where can I spend my money today? Where can I buy from today? People ain't struggling to decide like that. There are other people who do what you do. There are. And if you're not treating them right, they're going to find what they need and get what they need from somebody else who does what you do. This is why it's so important that we treat our clients with respect, that we treat our clients with the level of integrity and character that we want to be treated with. Because it's very easy for people to decide they don't want to work with us no more and go somewhere else. And it's one thing if they just decide they don't want to work with you anymore because that's just what they want to do. It's another thing for people to make that decision and determination because you are treating them in a raggedy manner, because you are not fulfilling deliverables, because you are not doing what they hired you to do. That's another conversation in and of itself. So always keep in mind that people can always go find someone else to do what you do. That's why it's important to take care of your clients and your customers. Kayla said that's probably why you didn't need a police report. Insurance knows the police are not just showing up within a reasonable time frame, but it wasn't their time that they were spending. That's the thing. If I was willing to sit there and wait for a police report, then what's the problem? The insurance agent wasn't there spending his time waiting on the police to show up for a police report. But anyway, that whole police report thing, Kayla, that's what part 2 is about. So when I do a part 2, again, make sure that your notifications are on so you don't miss part 2 because the saga continues. Let's see what Facebook is talking about. Yeah, Patrick said, I see why they made the Raggedy Business Report. Absolutely. Yeah, Patrick said, not the liquor store. I'm glad you had the wheels on it when you got back. Real talk. Like, I was really more concerned about leaving my car there. I was like, Dad, don't you think I can drive it home? Because, like, I was less than a mile from my house. I was like, don't you think I can drive it home? Like, so I don't have to leave it in the parking lot of the liquor store? Like, I can't just... He was like, nah, you really shouldn't. And I was like, all right, trying to concede to wisdom, trying to be obedient, as I always talk about being. So I said, okay, Dad, you probably know better than me, so I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to leave my car here. I just pray that don't nothing else happen to it overnight. And I was very grateful nothing else happened to it overnight. Praise the Lord. Patrick said, don't just leave us hanging. That's why you got to you gotta stay tuned in. You gotta make sure your notifications are on because again, there is a part 2. I gotta leave you wanting a little bit more so you come back and see your girl. The grass is always greener on the other side. Yes, they tried to break your car. Yes, child. So that is the Raggedy Business Report of today. I hope this was enjoyable and funny. I hope my misfortune made you laugh a little bit. But you see that there's a lot of raggediness out there in these business streets. And so, again, I hope that you make sure your notifications are on so that when I do the part 2 to this story, you won't miss it. So again, if you would like more information on how you can partner with me and my team to help make sure that your client experience is where it needs to be so that you are retaining higher percentages of your clients and earning additional money from your existing client base, go ahead and shoot me a DM. If you want to contribute a story for or an experience for the Raggedy Business Report, go ahead and shoot me a DM as well, and I can send you the link that you can use to share your experience and share your story with me so that I can talk about it on the Raggedy Business Report. And again, I don't give names, everything is confidential, and so please go ahead and connect with me in one of those ways. I thank you so much for tuning in. And again, make sure your notifications are on so that when I do the pop-up for part 2 of this Raggedy Business Report, you won't miss out. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day. And as I always say, remember to treat people well. Be blessed, y'all.